Mona had a hard time falling asleep with the sound of a million little legs adjusting themselves on windows, screens, and aluminum siding. She had spent the last 9 days in a catacomb of tiny screeches. Her home. When it all happened, she was texting her new boyfriend, Tim, while half watching a half-fake TV show where angry people bid on repossessed moving vans. They were watching together in their separate homes. "This show's the fakest," texted Tim. "No way," texted Mona. "Yes way," he responded. "What part? You really think there was an ancient samurai sword in that van filled with old baby clothes and a box spring?" Before she could respond, she was startled by what sounded like a soft-shelled crab hitting the kitchen window, then another on the back porch. "WTF, BRB, she said. "Don't get mad," Tim responded. But she had already set down her phone, tiptoeing toward the back door with a John Lennon blanket wrapped around her. She checked to make sure the door was locked, flipped on the light. Standing on her tiptoes, her eyes made it just above the glazing. There was nothing at first. A motorcycle speeding by? Then a brown streak flew toward the light, shattering it. She heard another thud on the front of the house, then 2 more on the back. She skipped, ran, and leapt over the coffee table onto the couch in a ball position. Opening the blanket, arms splayed like a sail, she quickly hugged it tight around her whole body. Her hand jutted out and snatched the glowing phone into her linen cocoon. "Oh gee, something fucked up is happening." "Like, on the show?" The thuds grew thicker with an inconsistent hum, crescendoing and fading. "Fuck him, call the cops," she thought. No answer. It just kept ringing. She hung up, called Tim, told him what was happening, and pleaded for him to come over and quick. He said it was probably just kids. "Let me grab a bat and I'll be right over." He never came. Within an hour, the light from the Hyundai dealership across the street was no longer visible. She had no bars on her phone, and the TV was all dancing digital blocks. One a smeared half-face, one a blur of pink, several gray ones, jaggedly evolving into different patterns and colors and emanating an unyielding sound. And then just black. Lamps, TV, microwave, light, the Lennon clock, everything black, but not silent. Once her ears adjusted to the absence of the sound, she now could plainly hear the scrabbling, squirming, crawling. Act. She must act. Don't cry. Stop crying. Her face felt swollen. She superglued a large fake painting of a river over the kitchen sink. Next, she used a nail file to unhinge her closet door and pinned it to the bedroom window using a dresser. She stuffed any openings with tops and socks. Drains too. When her eyes adjusted to the dark, she gathered all the candles she could find and anything that could be used as a weapon or bug repellent. An iron, Windex, whatever. Now the sound. She couldn't stand that sound. She cut away the wires from her noise-canceling earbuds and fastened them snugly into her ears with a sweatband and a beautifully colored silk scarf that she had always wanted to wear on her head instead of below it. This dulled the noise but did not cancel it. In the following days, she would hear inexplicable horrors coming from the outside walls of her small home. It sounded like babies howling, men crying, buildings toppling, dumpsters tumbling down the street, or maybe trucks. The ground shook daily. She smelled fires but never felt their heat. It was so hard to sleep. But she did occasionally do it, usually when deep in prayer. She had never prayed before and was never taught to, but had seen enough movies to know that this is what you do when times are tough. And there didn't seem to be any strict format to it as long as you meant it. She employed yoga as well, recalling a few moves from that one hot yoga class last spring. She couldn't remember all the moves, but knew the gist and made up some of her own. Frontward facing Locust, star-shaped head turn, and the one she called in her mind the queefer. By day 9, Mona's food supply was gone. She'd eaten the last 3 raisins, a third of a mallow cup, and some crumbs that had fallen between a Cap'n Crunch box and its lining. For dessert, she had some cucumber and aloe lip balm. She barely had the strength for star-shaped head turn. Find food, she thought. Tomorrow I must leave and find food. She couldn't die in here, not knowing what was out there. She lay in bed praying, Lord, hallowed be thy name. Till kingdom come, deliver me from evil. Deliver me a pizza. Deliver me something. Deliver, please, deliver. There was a damp heat. Things changed. She found herself standing at a river, a light coming toward her. It was a lantern, a man or something on a boat, cloaked. She was not scared. Help, she tried yelling, but hadn't the strength. Please, help. I am the boatman's daughter, it said, and docked. Come. Mona looked back at the darkness and then turned to a different darkness and decided to step aboard. Without even an oar, the boat pulled from shore and floated downriver. It was Route 138. She recognized it. There was the auto parts store in flames and the three facing pharmacies, windows busted out, bodies strewn about. An F-350 somehow stood on its tailgate, front bumper to the choked red sky, one crooked wheel perpetually turning. And there was the fast food chicken place with someone in a fleece cow costume strung upside down and tripping. All the world seemed a scorched car park. Mona remained tranquil and gazed upon the events like a small child within all the safety of an educational amusement park ride, briefly recapping the fall of some primitive past with animatronics and smoke machines. She was not sad. She was just there. A patron of this world, on her way to another. And all the while, the boatman's daughter sang.